What's up, guys? Today we are in Forza Horizon 3 and we're going to be talking about Forza Horizon 4. Now, I know that that's a ways off and we're already currently thinking about the next motorsport game, but I did want to talk about a few things regarding the next Horizon that I think are very important. Now, I've got a top 10 list that I'm going to go over, and I want you guys to discuss with me in the comments which things you think need to be on the list, which things you think don't really need to be on the list, and if you have anything to add, please let me know. So the first thing that I think we need is more mountain roads. More mountain roads, specifically things like toge passes, and just tighter, twistier, more elevation change, and lots of just roads that really intertwine into a network that work for mountain battles and tight, close mountain racing that I think we're definitely missing in Forza Horizon 3. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the open road feel of Forza Horizon 3, but at the same time, I definitely think that they could benefit by adding in some tighter, twistier, more technical roads with a lot more elevation change, some really harsh uphills and some really harsh downhills. And the thing is, they have them in Horizon 3, they're just all dirt. So they could really take that same road architecture and pave them, and they would be fine. They would actually be really great roads, and they'd be really fun to drive on. Now, the second thing that I would like to see is a few more options for wide-body kits. I know that that's kind of a generic thing, but bear with me here because some of the wide-body kits in the game are really good, and some of the, well, actually, I shouldn't say some. They're all really, really good, but I think not only do I want a bit more variety in what cars we can wide-body, but I would like to see, and I know might be a little bit of a request that I'm not sure if they can do or not, but I would like to see wide-body kits that can be modified. So, say, for example, you want to run the wide fenders, but you want to stick with a stock bumper. Or if you want to run the bumper from the wide body, but you don't necessarily want the fenders. Now, that also intertwines with a few other things that I'll get to later on, but being able to mix and match pieces of a wide body kit would really be a nice addition to the customization. Now, the third thing is mismatched wheels front and rear. Now, mismatched wheels front and rear are kind of a toss-up. I'm not really one for it. I'm not super interested in putting mismatched wheels front and rear on a car. However, I know that there's a lot of people that are interested in that, and I think that that's something that I've seen the community want, and I've seen the community really, try to make a push for. So I think it's important that Turn 10 and Playground Games take a look at that for the next Horizon game. But that's kind of one of those things that you can either get. For me, I could kind of take it or leave it. It's kind of up to, that one's kind of more up to the community. The fourth thing, and I know I said this back in Horizon 2 before Horizon 3 came out, and they did actually answer on a pretty good, they answered on a pretty good amount of amount of vehicles. I know that they've added quite a lot of trucks, and I think that that's great. I still want a few more. Now, I'm not trying to make Forza like spin tires. I'm not asking for that. But what I am asking for is maybe a little bit more variation in the way you can modify your trucks. Not necessarily more trucks, but say, for example, if you have the Titan XD Warrior concept, you can lower that truck, but you can't lift it. And I feel like there's so many people, if you're going to have trucks in the game, you need to have the ability to lift them. I mean, it's kind of a, no matter whether you're going for a crawling setup, like a Pavement Princess show truck setup, or even a pre-runner type setup that's made for desert and jumps and things like that, generally all of those suspension setups are going to be higher up. And we do have the rally suspension, which is a viable option on some trucks, but not really all of them. So I think that a noticeable suspension lift is something that we need to have in the game going forward into the next installment. Now, the fifth thing is we need a location that does a good job of catering to as many different things as possible, right? We've had I feel like a lot of people suggest a location, but they don't really think about the fact that that Horizon really has to apply to a ton of different environment types. Now, the way to get around that, or at least the way I see to get around that, would be to take, say, a general area and kind of compose everything from the surrounding general area together to create some sort of a half-realistic, half-fantasy world that would really be a nice mixture of everything, right? If we could have something resembling the Alps as far as mountain roads go, that would be absolutely incredible. But I think the thing is, it's hard to have a game, an open world game that has an Alps area, but also has like an off-road area. Now, it wouldn't really be that hard to add snow, but I think that sometimes, I mean, there's some give and take back and forth on what off-road areas you can and can't include, because first and foremost, Forza is a pavement-based racing game. It's a pavement-based driving game. The off-road stuff has been around since Horizon 1, like the Horizon Rally expansion, but I think the thing, too, is the fact that really, at this point, Forza is really trying to kind of bridge that gap, and especially in the Horizon series, and be as many things rolled into one as possible. And I think at a certain point, you kind of have to decide what your focus actually is. And I think their focus is still, they're doing a good job at keeping their focus on the pavement stuff, but doing also a good job of integrating off-road as they go along. But that's been enough about like the fifth part of the list. Now, on to number 6, I think that there should be a little bit of a... I feel like they should look into like the way Test Drive Unlimited used to do it as far as you know, the player integration, and not necessarily that we have to have, you know, fully customizable characters with houses and things like that. I mean, that would be really cool, but I would like to see a home base other than just I would like to see the player have a home base that's not just the festival, right? I kind of felt like in Horizon 3, I kind of felt like, okay, well, I've unlocked all these festivals, and what do I do? Like, the motivation becomes, at that point, just to drive around and play the game. And I think that when you have a little bit more of a connected experience where you have a player that you're more connected with, because I didn't really connect that much with my actual character in Horizon 3, so I think if you can have a player or a character that you really connect with and you have a home base for that character, I think that would really help make the player feel a little bit more involved within the game. Now, the gameplay, I really have almost zero complaints about. The gameplay has been evolving super nicely ever since Horizon 1, I think. I love the way the physics feel. I think they've really found a nice happy medium between realism and arcade, kind of like that simcade happy medium. And I know that I guarantee you that after saying that, there's going to be people in the comments that are like, Horizon is 100% arcade. Hell, Motorsport is an arcade game. You need to go play iRacing. That's the only simulator. I get it. I get it. There are hardcore sim guys out there and that don't think Forza is realistic at all. But I think the thing is that that's kind of I don't know. I'm gonna step out on a limb and say that that's a little bit of an elitist mentality. And when you start to dial back a lot of the assists in Forza, you do really find a realistic experience, especially if you play it with a proper wheel and pedal setup. Now, I kind of got off on another topic there, but the 7th thing, really, I think the car list is great. I think we need, like I said, maybe a tiny bit more variety and a tiny bit more new cars. New cars would help so much, because I know that a lot of people, whenever a car pack comes out, they're all like, oh, well, here we go, we're getting, you know, cars that we've already seen before. Either that, or I think in Horizon 3, random, like, some of the Australian cars were really cool, but we also got some, like, random Australian cars that, like, everybody was like, why do we have this and what is it for? Now, the 8th thing is that tree, apparently, but no, the 8th thing I think would be, actually, the tree brings up a good point. The 8th thing is, I think we need a little bit more differentiation between which objects are breakable and which objects are not, because I know that when you're trying to keep a skill chain going and you use the wreckage bonuses and things like that, you kind of, sometimes I'm like, oh, that looks just like a breakable tree, and I hit it and it destroys my combo, so that's kind of iffy. And for the 9th thing, I think a little bit more integration with, if you have a character you're more attached to, maybe make it a little bit more social for characters that you're interacting with online. Maybe you can meet up in different ways and things like that. And finally, the 10th thing is to do a little bit better of a job of keeping that car group, car club mentality. Because I think that we have it, but it's not quite 100% there yet. So if you guys enjoyed this video in Forza Horizon 3, don't forget to hit that like button. Tell me in the comment section below what some of your ideas are, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys want to subscribe for more. Talk to you guys later.